Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, chapter 14. This is exercise B of chapter 14. We are to turn these English adjectives first into English adverbs, and then, using the Latin adjectives equivalent to these English adjectives, we are to find the Latin adverbs. Starting with the English adjective sharp or harsh. Adjectives modify nouns. So something, a thing, is sharp. A thing is harsh. The adverb form, adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. So we want to describe how something is done. Something is done sharply or harshly. A thing is sharp or harsh. Something is done sharply or harshly. The Latin adjective equivalent to sharp or harsh is acer, acris, acre. A third declension, you can tell by the is of the feminine and the the letter E of the neuter. And it's a three termination because it has one form for the masculine, acer, one form for the feminine nominative, acris, and one form for the neuter nominative, acre. And each one declines on its own path. Only the acer, acris, the masculine, the feminine, will share forms apart from the nominative. Remember, all third declension adjectives have I stem endings, including the ablative singular letter I, pronounced E, for all genders. Now, to form an adverb from these Latin adjectives, what you got to do is go find the adjective stem by chopping off either the is or the letter E from the neuter form. So the stem is ACR. That's where we get the English word acrid. Something ACR is bitter, sharp, harsh. So to form the adverb form sharply or harshly in Latin, because this is a third declension adjective, you take the stem and you add iter, iter. So we get acriter. Acriter is the Latin adverb. Now the English adjective powerful becomes the adverb powerfully. A thing is powerful, but something is done powerfully with power. The Latin adjective is the third declension, one termination, potens, and its genitive is potentis. You need to know the genitive of one termination adjectives in order to know the stem. So the stem is potent, like the English word potent, meaning powerful or able. So potens, the genitive potentis. A one termination adjective, most of them are form their adverb by taking the stem, potent, and then adding er. So the adverb form powerfully is the Latin potenter, potenter. The English adjective brief or short. A thing is brief or short. The English adverb, something is done briefly or in a short time, shortly. The Latin adjective equivalent is brevis, breve, a third declension two termination. For a third declension two termination adverb, like its three termination counterpart, you find the adjective stem, which is brev, chopping off either the is of the masculine feminine or the letter E from the breve, the neuter. So brev, and then you add iter, like acriter. You add iter to get breviter. Serious or grave. The English adverbs would be seriously, or gravely. Latin adjective, we have gravis, grave, which is a third declension to termination, like brevis, breve. The Latin adverb, that, because it's a third declension to termination, you take the stem grav, G-R-A-V, and you add iter to get graviter. Graviter, seriously, gravely. Careful or attentive, the English adverbs would be carefully, attentively. The Latin adjective of careful, attentive is diligens, diligentis, and that is a third declension, one termination because diligens forms the nominative of the masculine, the feminine, and the neuter, all three genders. You need to know the genitives of these one terminations in order to get the stem. So the stem is diligent, from the genitive diligentis, chop off the is, diligent, like the English diligent. Then we take the adverb. To get the adverb, you take the stem diligent, like diligent, and you're going to add just er, diligenter, like potens, potentis. Potenter was the adverb. Diligenter is the adverb for diligens. Brave or strong. Those are adjectives. Something is brave or strong. Now the adverb, that's going to be bravely, strongly. That's how something is done. The Latin adjective for brave, strong is fortis, forte, like fort, fortitude, something that is strong, fortified. Now you take the stem from this third declension to termination, fortis, forte, from either chopping off the is or the letter e, the a from the masculine, feminine, or the a from the neuter. The stem is fort. And then you add iter, fortiter, like acriter, and breviter, and graviter, and fortiter. Similar, like. Well, that's going to be similarly, likely, in such a like manner. The adjective forms, similar and like, that's going to be similis, simile, a third declension to termination, like fortis, forte, or gravis, grave, or brevis, breve. Similis, simile. The stem you get from chopping off the is or the letter e, the a, so simil. And then you put simil and add iter, similiter. Similiter. Bold, daring. So we have the adjective bold, daring, boldly, daringly would be the adverb forms. The adjective bold, daring in Latin is the third declension, one termination, audax, and then the genitive audacis. From the stem of the genitive, you get audac, root of the English word audacious, which means bold. Now, audaciously would be the adverb form. Now, how do we get the adverb form? Audaciously, boldly, daringly. It has a slightly irregular form. Its adverb form is audacter. It adds T-E-R, audacter. Adds a T, audacter. Easy, that's an English adjective. The English adverb is easily. If something is easy, something is done easily, adverb. The Latin adjective is going to be facilis, facile, a third declension to termination. Now, chop off the is or the a, we get F-A-C-I-L, facil, es facil. And the adverb form, you would think it would be faciliter, but it's not faciliter. It's slightly irregular. It's just facile. It's just facile. Great quiz question. The adverb form of easy, facilis, facile, is facile. It is an accusative singular neuter form. And I'm just going to say that all accusatives are adverbial. I think I've said that a few times before. I'm going to say it again. All accusatives are adverbial. Feel free to ask me during class. So sad, grim, sadly, grimly. Latin adjectives would be tristis, triste. Now, trist would be the stem. You would think it'd be tristiter, following the rule, but it's actually the accusative singular neuter triste. Triste, like facile. All accusatives are adverbial. Once again, feel free to ask me during class. Optime, very well done. You are now ready to move on to exercise C. Valete omnes.